Why would a superpower abandon its most powerful weapons in the middle of a war? That's the question military analysts around the world are asking right now. Because what's happening on the Russian front lines is beyond belief. Reports and satellite images reveal a disturbing pattern. Hundreds of Russian tanks left behind, not destroyed, not captured, but simply abandoned. Why? The truth may be more shocking than anyone expected. At first, experts thought these were damaged vehicles, victims of Ukraine's precision strikes. But when soldiers arrived at the sites, they discovered something strange. The tanks were in perfect working condition, except for one thing: their main guns were missing. Yes, Russia is literally ripping the guns off its own tanks. But why would they do that? Some say it's desperation. Russia has been losing so many armored vehicles that they've started cannibalizing old tanks, removing turrets, repurposing the chassis into Frankenstein-style weapons, and sending them back to battle in any form possible. Others claim it's about fear. Fear of their own equipment falling into enemy hands. Better to destroy or disable it than let Ukraine capture it and study their weaknesses. But the most chilling theory, that Russia's industry simply can't keep up. Sanctions, lack of components, and overworked factories have left them scavenging their own fleet just to stay in the fight. So when you see a Russian tank standing silent in a muddy field, no gun, no crew, no fight left, remember this: it's not just a machine they've lost. It's a symbol of a war machine running out of steam. What makes a soldier give up his tank before even firing a single shot? That's the question haunting Russia's army today. Across the front lines, something extraordinary is happening. Russian crews are driving their tanks straight into Ukrainian hands and walking away. At first, nobody believed it. But now, with footage and intercepted communications emerging, the truth is undeniable. Many Russian soldiers are surrendering their vehicles, willingly. So what's behind this bizarre new trend? Some blame it on fear. After months of brutal fighting, morale in many Russian units has collapsed. Soldiers talk about running out of fuel, out of food, and out of hope. They know the moment they turn the ignition, Ukrainian drones are already watching. Others point to money. Yes, money. Ukraine has publicly offered rewards to any Russian crew that defects and delivers a working tank. And with the war dragging on, that offer suddenly looks better than dying in a burning vehicle. But there's a darker side too. Some commanders are allegedly ordering retreats, disguised as technical breakdowns to avoid impossible missions. They report the tanks as lost in combat, but in truth, they're left behind on purpose. So the next time you see a column of Russian armor left untouched, remember, it's not just bad strategy. It's a sign of a military cracking from the inside, where the biggest threat isn't the enemy ahead, but the fear behind. What happens when an army loses hundreds of tanks? Not to enemy fire, but to thin air. That's the mystery haunting military analysts in 2025. Across the Russian front lines, armored vehicles are disappearing, not destroyed, not captured, simply gone. And nobody seems to know why. A vanishing force satellite imagery and battlefield reports show a strange pattern. Entire Russian tank battalions that once filled open fields are now reduced to empty footprints in the mud. No wreckage, no heat signatures, no signs of combat. It's as if the tanks simply evaporated overnight. At first, analysts thought it was clever camouflage, Russia hiding its machines in underground bunkers or forest shelters. But reconnaissance drones flying overhead found nothing. Others suggested Ukraine was secretly capturing them and covering up the evidence. But soon, intercepted communications told a darker story. The silent retreat inside those messages were whispers of panic. Russian crews abandoning their posts under the cover of night, removing GPS trackers, and vanishing not into Ukrainian custody, but into the forests, the villages, anywhere far from the front. Why? Because for many, the war had become a death sentence. Without spare parts, fuel, or communication, their tanks were nothing more than metal coffins waiting to explode. We don't fight anymore. We hide the tanks and run. There's no point. They know where we are before we even move. In desperate attempts to keep the war machine alive, Russia began dismantling its own tanks.